Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. Say, living here in rural Wyoming, I was driving down the street yesterday, and I saw a flock of cows.
Herd of cows, Cody?
Of course I've heard of cows, they go moo. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Waterloo Solitaire from Worthington. Hello everybody, we'll get back to the review in just a second. I just want to take a moment to ask you to go ahead and check out and subscribe to my other channel, that is Cody Carlson PhD, where we talk about military history and books on history and fun things like that. Please check that out, please subscribe, and now, back to the review. In Waterloo Solitaire from Worthington, one player takes on the role of either the great Napoleon Bonaparte or the great Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington, as they battle during this fateful battle in 1815. Now this is a book game. It says right there on the cover, all you need is a die, a pen, and a sense of adventure to play. Well, I've got the pen, I've got the die. I've always believed in sober and judicious judgment. That's my creed. I just don't know if I could bring a sense of adventure. But I'll try. Each page is essentially a map of the battlefield. You have the French First Corps, the French Second Corps, various cavalry corps, as well as your artillery, which is off board. The same thing is true for Wellington. He has his left wing, his right wing, his cavalry, as well as his artillery, and also the possibility of those kooky Prussians showing up. Now each of these units is represented as a block. They both have reserves as well. When you play Napoleon, you are trying essentially to smash one wing or the reserve or both wings of Wellington's line. If you are Wellington, you're trying to take out the 1st and 2nd French Corps. Or simply survive. If Wellington's holding his line at the end of game turn 18, then the English win. Now, there are 7 different actions you can take. For instance, if you are Napoleon, you can order the First Corps to attack the left wing or to attack the Hougoumont village, which is right there in the center. You can order your cavalry to try to go around and hit the English. You can launch an artillery barrage. And what you do is there are various boxes beneath each of these actions. You write the turn number. So if it's turn 3, you want to do an artillery barrage, you would write 3 in the artillery box. That's where you know what you're going to do for that action. But this is the first thing you do. You pick what action you're going to do, and then you realize what your target is going to be. Then, after you pick your action, but before you resolve it, you roll a die. And the die tells you exactly what your enemy is going to do. Is your enemy going to attack? Is he going to form square? Is he going to shoot his artillery at you? There's different things he's going to do. The Wellington may have the Prussians start to assemble on your right flank. So there's different things that can happen here. Now, after you have determined what the enemy's actions are, the enemy resolves that action. The enemy may attack you, in which case you consult the attack table. Typically, low numbers benefit the French and high numbers benefit the Allies. But different things can happen. You could inflict 2 damage on the enemy if you roll a 1. You could just inflict 1 damage. You could each take a damage, or you could just take a damage, or you could take a lot of damage. And it depends on, there's also some die roll modifications that can also manipulate the board as well. Now, if you want to get one of those die roll modifiers, one of the things you can do is a combined arms action. Essentially, you designate your primary unit, and then you would have a secondary unit. So on your primary unit, you would write the turn number. On that secondary unit, you would just write an S for secondary. So you know it's using up one of its possible actions there. But essentially, the attacking unit goes in and rolls the die, and the secondary unit essentially gives it a die roll modifier that will help you. So then you go through, you roll the die, and you resolve the attack normally. So after you've gone through and you've done all these steps, you mark off the turn number, and then you move to the next turn. And there's some other actions you can take too. You can move your reserves. Essentially, you cross out the reserve, and then you shade in the reserve portion of the particular unit you're moving to. If it's shaded in, that means it's there. That's another unit they have to come to. If you take hits, you write a cross over whatever unit you've lost, and that indicates that that unit, of course, is dead. There's also stuff if the Prussians arrive, if they've got, if the Prussians have more units on the board than you've got on your flank, they can attack you if you're Napoleon. And so there's a lot of different things here. If you're the English, one of the actions you can take is actually have the Prussians arrive and hopefully attack into the French flank. So you're going back and forth, you are selecting your actions, you are rolling the die to determine the enemy actions, they're engaging you, then you're engaging them, you're taking out their units, they're taking out yours, and you're hoping that if you're Napoleon, before the end of game turn 18, you have smashed either both of Wellington's flanks or one of his flanks in his reserves, and if you are Wellington, you are hoping that you have either destroyed the 2 French corps attacking you, or you have just held out until turn 18 without losing. Whichever side you're playing, if you can meet those specific objectives, then you win! Waterloo Solitaire. So, I played recently Bismarck Solitaire, and I really enjoyed it. I really got a kick out of it. It's a very light, very simple game, plays very quickly. You know, it was a fun game where you're rolling for the enemy die to see exactly where they're going to attack you. You're playing the Bismarck on its sortie, and you don't know where the British are coming from. It was really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the game, really recommended it. But I got to tell you, as much as I like that game, I think I like Waterloo Solitaire more. I feel like there's more choices in this game. I feel like there is more there's more tension, and I thought Bismarck was really tense. But here, it's amazing to me how this battle comes alive with this system, with just the pen and the die. And the sense of adventure, but it really is. It's really intense. And it's so quick, but you really get involved in it. This is a great way to play a war game. It's a lot of fun. Now, it's not a grand epic game. There's a lot of chance because a lot of this is just D6 die rolls. But for what it is, and for as short as it is, it's so much fun. It is just really sucks you in, really presents a great narrative of the battle. I think this would be a great way for younger people to learn about the battle and exactly what was at stake and what was, how they were trying to hold this line and how the other side was trying to destroy that line. It's brilliant in its simplicity, is what I want to say. But the strongest thing I can say for it, and the greatest praise I can heap on it, is it's just fun. It's incredibly fun. I really have enjoyed this. I played a few games so far as both Wellington and Napoleon. Really enjoy it. Look forward to playing it some more. I usually play I just make light pencil marks so I can erase them and keep playing. Now there's, I think, 12 pages for Wellington, 12 for Napoleon, but this is one I'm going to want to play over and over and over. So I haven't even touched most of the pages. I've just kind of erased the pages I've already played on. But I really like this game. I really like this game quite a bit, and I'm excited because I believe Worthington is working on more of these kind of book games. I imagine they're not terribly expensive to produce, and I think they're printed on demand, which means this could be a viable business model for them to produce these kinds of games and keep producing these kinds of games, and I hope they do, because I have had so much fun with these two, and Waterloo in particular. This is just fantastic. Recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Waterloo Solitaire is buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. And I also ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to check out my other YouTube channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history and books on history and some things from the Napoleonic Wars. We have a lot of fun there. Please check that out. Please subscribe. And I'd also ask you to please give a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek. That helps us out a lot. Now, let me ask you a question. Why did Napoleon prefer Paris to southern France? He hated Toulouse.